In 2025, something massive is happening behind Koenigsegg's closed doors, and it's not just another upgrade. No one else can do what we're doing. If you want that, you can't get it anywhere else. Words like new engine, wipe the floor, and electric cars have started circling after a cryptic statement from the CEO himself. We never stopped developing it because it gives enormous freedom to the combustion engine. No flashy launch, no teaser campaign, just a quiet decision that could upend everything we thought we knew about the future of performance. If you think the EV race is already won, think again, because Koenigsegg might be about to pull off the unthinkable, and no one's ready for what's coming next. From the beginning, Koenigsegg never followed trends. While the rest of the automotive world was busy chasing lap times with bloated engineering teams and badge prestige, Christian von Koenigsegg was building rockets disguised as cars out of a small factory in Ängelholm, Sweden. No big marketing budgets, no legacy to coast on, just one relentless mission: create the fastest, most innovative machines on the planet and prove that one company could out-engineer the giants. The first car, the CC8S, was a warning shot. Then came the CCR, which briefly held the title of world's fastest production car. But it wasn't until the Agera RS that the world really started paying attention. In 2017, it shattered the production car speed record, 277.9 miles per hour, without breaking a sweat. It didn't just beat the competition, it embarrassed them. While everyone else talked traction control, Koenigsegg was out there rewriting physics. But this obsession with speed was never just about straight-line performance. Every detail, from the monocoque tub to the triplex suspension, reflected a philosophy. Everything must serve performance, and anything that doesn't, goes. No fluff, no gimmicks, just raw engineering. And that's what separates Koenigsegg. It's not just about horsepower, it's about control, balance, ingenuity. Then came the Regera, a car that didn't even have a traditional gearbox. Koenigsegg called it direct drive, a revolutionary setup that eliminated the need for gear changes entirely. The result? Seamless acceleration with hybrid torque that could turn your insides to soup. And yet, even with 3 electric motors and a twin-turbo V8 under the hood, it somehow felt elegant, like the world's fastest grand piano. Of course, none of this would matter without the man behind it. Christian isn't your typical CEO. He's part inventor, part speed freak, part philosopher. He once said, "Why do we build fast cars? Because we can." But that doesn't mean it's reckless. There's always purpose behind the madness. He's obsessed with thermodynamics, power-to-weight ratios, and how to extract more energy from less fuel. He's also one of the few people who can sketch out an engine idea on a napkin and then watch it come to life 6 months later. Behind every Koenigsegg model is a years-long process of trial, failure, reinvention, and finally, perfection. And once it hits perfection, they start again. Because in their world, good enough means nothing. It's why they handcraft components other manufacturers outsource, why they invent their own carbon fiber technology, why they built a 3D printer just to make titanium exhaust tips. Every shortcut avoided is a second shaved off the track. That mindset is what turned Koenigsegg from a boutique supercar maker into a name that makes Ferrari and Bugatti lose sleep. But Christian's critique goes deeper. It's not just about weight or handling, it's about what kind of future we're building. He's spoken candidly about the downsides of battery production, the environmental costs, the mining, the resource limitations. In contrast, Koenigsegg is experimenting with biofuels, synthetic fuels, and lighter energy storage solutions that don't rely on rare earth metals. To him, a sustainable future shouldn't just be clean, it should be clever. Of course, he knows where the industry is heading. Regulations are tightening, EV mandates are coming. That's why Koenigsegg is investing heavily in electric technology, but on their own terms. They're not just building electric motors, they're redefining them. The dark matter motor is proof of that. Small, efficient, brutally powerful, and designed to eliminate the need for multiple heavy motors altogether. The irony? While the rest of the auto world is spending billions to catch up with Tesla, Koenigsegg is already operating in a different dimension. Their motors aren't just efficient, they're integrated. Their hybrids don't just comply with regulations, They outperform everything around them. Insiders have reported strange test rigs, patents with abstract diagrams, quiet recruitment of energy specialists from outside the automotive world. There's a feeling inside the company, hard to pin down, but impossible to ignore, that something big is coming. And it won't just be an update or a facelift. It'll be a challenge, a statement, maybe even a declaration of war against the idea that electric cars already won. Something changed at Koenigsegg in 2025. After months of uncharacteristic silence, the kind that only ever means something big is brewing, Christian von Koenigsegg finally emerged. Measured, calm, and as always, precise. Sitting across from a small group of engineers and close partners, he leaned forward and said the words that would set the tone for everything that followed. "I've made my decision. It's time." What followed wasn't a teaser or a flashy concept. It was an engine. A brand new combustion engine. Not a modified V8, not a scaled-up TFG, and definitely not a placeholder for electrification. This was Koenigsegg's answer to a question no one else in the industry seemed brave enough to ask anymore. They built it from scratch, compact, aggressive, and impossibly efficient. It runs on synthetic e-fuel, produces near-zero emissions, and weighs less than any comparable power plant Koenigsegg has ever developed. The design is entirely new, short-stroke, high-revving, with quad turbos, and a free-breathing valve system that responds in milliseconds to driver input. Every component was optimized for responsiveness, thermal efficiency, and power delivery. And the power figures? Let's just say this engine alone puts out numbers that most electric hypercars still struggle to reach, even with dual motors. But it's not about raw output. It's about the feel, the way it pulls from idle, the balance it brings when paired with Koenigsegg's already cutting-edge electric drive systems. It doesn't replace the electric motor. It elevates it. Christian explained, "We weren't interested in building a nostalgia piece. We wanted to create something that could outperform what's out there now and lead where others are following." In 2025, it wasn't bravado. It was confidence backed by years of obsessive development. While other manufacturers leaned harder into batteries, Koenigsegg went back to first principles, rethinking what an engine could be in a world obsessed with silent speed and synthetic thrills. The result isn't a rebellion, it's a revelation. This isn't the end of Koenigsegg's hybrid future. It's the foundation of it, an engine that brings the emotion back to performance, an engine that doesn't just survive the electric age, but challenges it. And if Christian's right, it may have just redefined what comes next. So now the question is, if Koenigsegg just built a machine that outperforms every EV and keeps the soul of driving alive, is the electric revolution already outdated before it even peaked?